acknowledge the Gadigal people of the Eora Nation, the traditional owners of this country, on which we meet today, and pay my respects to the elders, past, present, and emerging. Welcome to Safety Briefing Night for the Oxfam Trailwalker Sydney 2019. Well, thank you very much for coming tonight. My name is Marika and I'm your fundraising coordinator. Probably spoken to quite a few of you lot on the phone. You might have met me already at 101 night. So I'm here to take you through the first part of the presentation. And I also wanted to let you know, obviously as you've seen, we got Paddy Palin with a little store just outside in the foyer. So please, if you haven't already, please say hello to them tonight. And you probably have picked up your safety briefing pack already, which I can see you're all holding. We go through that in a minute, and I will explain in more detail. By now, you probably have been training, hopefully. So, that should have been pretty good so far with your training. One thing that the physiotherapist was suggesting was doing the squats while you were brushing your teeth. Did any of you do that? That would be like 4 minutes a day, squatting, kind of just, making sure that all the muscles are good. So, did you also manage to get off the bus one stop early? So, to walk a little bit more. So that was another good tip. So hopefully you've done that as well. And taken every flight of stairs that you could see, just to kind of prep you for the event, which is really only happening not long from now. So I will take you through a bit of a fundraising update tonight. I will talk to you about the briefing packs and also about the start and what to bring for registration. So that brings me to saying a big thank you to all of you, because we have an incredible amount raised already, and if you don't actually know, it is $1.3 million, and that's down to you guys. Yep. So $1.3 million, no small defeat, that's amazing. You've done amazing, so thank you for your fundraising efforts so far, to your friends and colleagues you sent stuff out to. This is an epic adventure you're embarking on, and it's just amazing that together we can all change people's lives and make an impact on those who really need it. So thank you again, that's fantastic. That also leaves me on to talk about our fantastic leaderboard so far. So I pulled this off our database this morning, so if more money came in, it might have changed, but this as it was as of this morning. So on number 1 we have You Can Call Me Al. Unfortunately the varicose pains aren't here tonight, but I know that later on we have Ray from the Wandering Wallies here, so some of you might be here. So just to kind of give you a bit of an inspiration what to aim for if you like to see your name on that leaderboard, that would be fantastic. If you don't want to be on that one, we also have the category leaderboard for you guys. If you remember, when you signed up, you had the choice to have different categories you kind of go in, and you can still change that if you feel like I'm an open, but I actually work in manufacturing, then you could still see if you get the spot on that one. All of this is something that we kind of encourage you, and to encourage you to get there, it might just be, we have tonight on your safety briefing packs. You see that little piece of paper that's been stapled on your envelope? We have a little competition tonight, and that competition is you can win one of five GPS trackers. so your friends and family can see where you are live, and that will be really helpful. So if you would like to win one of those, all you got to do is just upgrade your target by a minimum of $600. It's always nice when your target is actually higher than the amount raised, because people are more inclined to give to you if it's not at 100% yet. So yeah, if you want to update your target, or you can choose your amount, please fill in this piece of paper, and at the end of the session we have at the exit Pam and Dick, our long-time volunteers, who will be holding a little box, and if you can just put that piece of paper in there, then you will go in the draw of winning one of 5 GPS trackers. And obviously that will help towards our target of 2.1 million. So the other thing that we have up for grabs to help you to help with the fundraising and might get you a little bit inspired is lovely numbers 1 till 10 will go to the highest 10 fundraisers. So if you feel like you want to be part of that, yeah, please up your target and do some fundraising. If your fundraising target is 2,500, you will get also a momentum bib with your team name on it. If your fundraising target is 5,000, you will get a momentum bib with your team name and your first name on it, just as a little incentive for you guys. If your fundraising target is 10,000, you would have received silver buffs. If you haven't, please let us know. And if your fundraising target is higher than that and you actually hit the 15,000, you will get prestigious gold buffs from us. Currently we only have 4 teams who have done that, but that is just something else I just wanted to mention in case you get very inspired tonight. And to celebrate all this lovely fundraising and your walking and the whole experience, we have our celebration night on the 24th of September. We will send out a link for RSVPing this one to you guys very, very shortly. And we have certain awards that we would like you to nominate people for. One of them is the Support Crew Award. So you could nominate an inspiring support crew that you feel like deserves to be recognized. We have a Team Spirit Award, the Overcoming the Odds Award, and last but not least, we also have the Corporate Fundraising Challenge, which means we got a lot of corporate teams on the start, and combined they raise a lot of money, and that is something that we would also like to give out if you're part of corporate teams. You can submit nominations to our inbox, and you will also get everything sent to you and obviously reminded after this briefing night in an year. And all these awards, let's just see if we can make sure that we're going to tell you guys who's actually the winner of the Money Dunny competition. You had to raise $7,500 to be part of this and to have the chance to win your pink, lovely own portaloo at every checkpoint. We had 18 entries, 18 people who fundraised more than $7,500, and the winner is well done. So you will have your own lovely pink portaloo with a rolled out carpet just for you. Well, that was well received, wasn't it? So that's good. Right, that brings me now to talk about the briefing tags. So this is what's in your pack. I'm just going to have them up here as well. So we have the environmental survey, which we would like you guys to fill out, please. Please bring this one to the start. Next, we have the yellow form, which is the medical questionnaire. It's one form with 4 parts for each of the walkers. Please bring this to the start as well. So these are basically the only 2 things that you please bring to the start. Also, in your pack, you have a Transport for New South Wales travel pass to get you up to Brooklyn, only for the 100 kilometres, because in Robin Head there aren't any trains. So we haven't cut this because it would be easier to not get lost, so please cut it yourself. And have this for you. Also in the pack you have your final briefing notes. Everything that we've discussed should be in there. If there's any other questions you have, we have a Q&A at the end of the session as well. But you will basically, you can go through this, have a little browse through. Also Jessie will go through the rest of our checkpoints and all the logistics. So it should be all in here. If there's anything missing, please let us know. What's also in your briefing pack is your support crew vehicle pass. You only have 1 pass per team. Please hand this over to the next support crew. They would have to just make sure that that gets passed on. You need this for every checkpoint, and it gets checked, and it's basically to make sure we haven't got loads of parking spaces at the checkpoints. They're quite limited. So it's 1 vehicle pass per team. So pass this on to your support crew. Also in your pack, you have your support crew map book. There is a different one for the 50 kilometers and obviously one for the 100 kilometer in there. It should tell you everything the support crew would need to know, where to go, where to park, where to meet you. So it should be part of your team plan where you're going to meet people. Alright. So, medical questionnaire and the environmental survey, as I said, please bring to the start. The lovely volunteers at the start will take this off you, and it needs to be filled in, obviously. One deadline that I need to mention is the 21st of August, which is the Wednesday before the event. You can make team changes up to that day. After that, no team changes are allowed. We will have to print our reports and we have to get everything set up. So that is the last time that you can swap a team member. If you have team changes after that, you would please have to go to the team changes desk at registration, and we will kind of go from there. Then you can still do team changes, but it will incur a fee of $30. Make sure that all your team details are up to date. You can do that on your team space. On the right-hand corner, you can already go, make sure that all your emergency contact details are there, all your personal contact details are there. Make sure everything has a green tick, as you can see from the team space. That's really important. You probably also have got a validation email from us, which we've sent out if there's anything missing. So please have a look. You do need to click on the links. Team leaders will have 2 links to click on. Walkers will have 1 link to click on. Please open that email and go into your team space. It directs you immediately in there. This is one of the examples, the emergency contact details. You will have to go in and validate those. If that hasn't been done correctly, you will get an email again the next day. So until that is all done, it just reminds you. So that's really important, and it helps you to minimize the queuing at the start, because if something is not correct, you will have to queue again at the team changes desk, and we obviously want to avoid that, and you probably want to avoid that as well. It's the same for the support crew. So The team leader will also have to check the support crew details and their walker details. You can only really do that checking if all of the 4 members have signed into TeamSpace. If you have one missing, you won't be able to do anything. So make sure all team members, all walkers have signed up before you can validate your details. If you have any more questions about that, yeah, please come and see one of us, or we have our inbox and you can just please let us know if anything isn't working as correctly. On the day of registration, the main thing is that you have all 4 team members and you arrive together, and that all of you come to the registration desk. You will have to have your paperwork complete, your environmental form, and your medical questionnaire, the 2 things that I've kind of shown you before, which are these 2 documents. So bring these 2. It's always helpful to know your start time and your team number. I'm sure you know your start time, but believe me, there are some people who don't. But yeah, just check on your team space and have a look at your team number. It makes it really, really easy then to find you. For the people who are going to be on like the highest fundraisers and team number 1 to 10, I will call you separately and let you know what the changes are in that respect. So you will kind of know that. Don't switch bibs. We have a specific color for each person. So there's red, green, blue and yellow. Please don't switch the bibs around. When you register, you know what color you are. It will all be in the registration kit. That is for safety reasons and also so that we can identify you in case there's anything going on. And we have also pictures taken at the start and the finish, and to make sure that we have the right person in case you want to know who you are. Well, I'm sure you know who you are, but hand over all your final paperwork, possibly to our lovely volunteers at the start line, who are going to help you to finally send you off. Yeah, so bring everything with you, the 2 forms, and while you are queuing and you've just kind of got your rego pack and you just hand off the forms, you can already pin your bibs. It all just reduces the time of queuing really. So bring the medical questionnaire, the environmental form, and come as a team of 4. Start times. I've got a little schedule here when you're going to be able to check in. It's all in your briefing pack as well, so I don't have to go through that. Arrive early, make sure that you take use of your public transport pass so that you avoid being late with any traffic, or also there won't be that much parking available, so make use of your public transport pass. We will have the Paddy Palin store at the start line as well for any last minute purchases. If you need any extra socks or you've forgotten anything, they will be there and they will help you out. Tea and coffee you can buy in the mornings. It's for some a very early start, so that's always nice. Make sure you bring keep cap and water bottle with you, because we're trying to avoid plastic bottles. It's a complete plastic bottle free event. So you do need a keep cup and a water bottle where you can fill up your water bottle at our drink stations. That's another reason why we have them outside, so you can buy them there, or if you have your own, please bring them along. Another thing we're going to do at our start, if you want to donate anything to Vinnie's, we have a pink big bag. You can come in old clothes. You might not want to take that fleece with you for the whole way. Depends. You can leave it at the start and we will donate it to Vinnie's. So it's another lovely thing that we're going to be doing. And please don't bring any money donations for them. It's literally just the excess clothes. I also would like to mention the special offers we have. We are working with Balmain Sports Medicine and Sports Podiatrists. They offer strapping of the feet for $40. if you're doing the 100 kilometer, you're probably going to be strapping them on the Thursday. If you're doing the 50 kilometer, strapping's on the Friday. Yeah, give them a call and book it in if you feel like it. It does really help. And Balmain Sports Medicine also offers 15% discount on post-event massage. One thing I got to mention in the briefing pack, which is in the briefing notes, we only realised this after printing, but Balmain Sports Medicine have moved, but only 4 houses down the road. So it's still on the same road, the number is still the same, but they're not in the old address anymore. So if you look them up, yeah, just double check, make sure you won't miss them. They're literally outside in the Hotel Roselle, so literally 4 doors down. Just wanted to make sure I mention this because we kind of missed updating that, unfortunately. And then I'd just like to thank PowerShop tonight. We're partnering with PowerShop and they're still willing to donate $150 to your team space if you're signing up with them. But they're our partners, yeah, so thank you PowerShop. And that leaves me with my first part done, and I'd like to introduce Jessie to the stage, who's going to take you through all our rest of the evening and talk about checkpoints and logistics.
My name is Jessie Tompkins. I'm the Events Operations Coordinator for New South Wales. So my role in the event is making sure that all of the bits and pieces at all of the checkpoints are at their correct locations, and also all of the liaising with all of the event stakeholders before the event. So lots of different bits and pieces. But tonight I'm going to be talking to you about the trail and some updates on talking about different sections of the trail, and also some bits and pieces about emergencies and yeah. So let's start at getting to start. I know Marika has already mentioned the 100k start and the travel passes. So at the 100k start, if you haven't been there before, into Parsley Bay, there's only one road in and out. So if you're being dropped there by your support crew, it will be a little bit of a wait. We do have regular closing times of that road to make sure that that you as a walker is safe coming through at each of the start waves. So there is about a 20-minute period where that road is closed off. So if you're in one of the later start waves, you might be sitting there in your car for up to 20 minutes in the traffic. So it might actually be quicker if you are taking that route to jump out of your car and walk the short distance down to the start line. But we do recommend that you actually do use your free travel pass. The parking there is also very limited, so if you are going to be taken by your team, they need to drop you and then depart. The free travel pass, we're very lucky to be working with Transport New South Wales. They are sponsoring us for free travel on the day. So that's free travel one way to the Hawkesbury River Station. So that is on Sydney trains from any of your local train stations. You just will need to give that pass to your train station person to show that you do have that free travel. Now with the 50k start, Marika did note that Bobbin Head doesn't have any trains. Unfortunately there isn't a train line there, so you will need to be dropped there by your support crew. The road going down to Bobbin Head is quite windy, so please take care and drive safely. And the parking down there again is limited, so please carpool, try and limit the amount of vehicles that do need to come in and out of the site. And when you are dropped off, please make sure that your support crew is parking in the allocated parking zones, and that if they want to stay there to see you start, that they then depart promptly afterwards so that we can clear the area for any other supporters that need to come in afterwards. Now just another note before we move on, with the 50k start, there is a lovely bridge and boardwalk. Hopefully some of you have been doing some training and you have seen this bridge and boardwalk down there. It's such a beautiful area at Bobbin Head, but due to weight restrictions, we will need to make sure that we're releasing all of the walkers, so all of your teams, at staggered intervals of 10 metres. That's just to make sure that you're safe and that with with those bridges are have weight ratings, so we do need to just make sure that we are following that. So please be patient, listen to the Oxfam staff members that will be there. They're giving directions for your safety, and please just be patient. We don't want any pushing or shoving situations, and take a moment to just sort of get into the vibe of the event, take stock, and just get excited for the trail ahead. So we've started, now we're on the trail. I know the thing that I always get worried about when I'm out in the outdoors is the weather. So the weather, the forecast, these aren't the actual forecasts up there, but this is just a display to show you how variable weather reports can be from provider to provider. So do your research, check in the lead up, check different sites to see what they're going to say, and sort of look accordingly. But with that said, we are an outdoor event, so please pack for all weathers. Make sure you're packing your rain gear, you've got your sun protection, and prepared for all occurrences. It is, those of you that haven't looked yet, it is looking really nice, and we're, fingers crossed, going to be very lucky with the weather. Now the trail. I know this is like there's some murders here. The trail, this is what we always want to talk about. Hopefully some of you have, from the 100K, have already walked that start section, that section 1, but it is a steep fire trail for that 100-kilometre section after you have walked on a little bit of road. It can be a little bit congested in some sections, so again, just please be patient and just take your time. If you are a faster team, please pass the team in front of you, but please call out to let them know that a faster team wants to pass. If you are taking your time and taking it easy for that start section, please just move to one side, step to the left, and let that faster team go past. And as this is a long distance event, please pace yourself. You don't want to go gung-ho at the start and then find that you're lacking some energy towards the end. Take it slow and steady. That's what the proverb says. With trail markers. Now trail markers, you will see them along the whole length of the trail. They have been placed there by our volunteer trail markers before the event, and they're these beautiful little yellow markers. They will be placed every 60 to 100 metres, and they are reflective at night time, so they're really easy to see. The numbers that you can see at the bottom there that have been handwritten on, these are not an indication of distance, so please don't use them as such. That number down there is for your safety. So we've placed those on there to make sure that you are safe, and I'll talk a little bit more about it in a second, but that's to make sure we can find you in an emergency. Some other trail signage that you might see along the way are these octagonal yellow directional signs. So they're just in some sections that might be a little bit tricky, or there might be a trail junction there, or we want you to go in a specific direction. There's also a few little like signs for specific hazards. So it might be narrow trails or caution steep cliff or something like that. So please just be aware of those and follow those directions as well. Now, trail marshals are some of our lovely volunteers that will be on the event. You'll see them at various locations throughout the trail. They're mostly there to help supervise road crossings so that you're safe. They're also there during hazardous sections or tricky sections of the trail that might need to make sure that you take the right turn. They're there also to provide you encouragement, but their days might also be very, very long, and they are there as volunteers. So please be kind, please be considerate, and thank them as you pass. So in an emergency. Now we all hope that we don't have to follow these guidelines, but it's good for everyone to know what they are. So in an emergency, the trail markers that I mentioned before are very crucial. So when we're marking the trail, we have marked all of those numbers down in our ECC Event Control Centre, and so we can find you as quickly as possible in the event of. So if you are in an emergency, in the event of, we need you to please call that 1300 number. It will be on the bottom of your bibs, you can see there on the picture, and that will take you directly to the Event Control Centre. In our Event Control Centre, we have a number of emergency services representatives, and so you'll actually get a quicker response time if you call that 1300 number than you would if you call 000. Of course, if you don't get a response by calling that 1300 number and it is an emergency, please don't hesitate to call 000 because we do want to get help to you as quickly as possible. But call that 1300 number in the first instance. When you do call, the things that you need to report to the person that you speak to. You need to please report your bib number, the big colour and the closest trail marker number you are. Be aware that that closest trail marker might not be the one in front of you, it may be behind you, so please look around. And please, please, please stay where you are. There's no point calling into us, telling us the trail marker that you're at, and then walking another kilometre down the track. It's going to make our bush search and rescue teams, who are going to be the first responders attending to you, it's going to make their life very difficult to find you. Please also make sure that if you're calling in for another team, so if you see John's over here and he's vomiting or something like that, and you're very concerned about him, please don't call him in and then walk away. Because if you're calling him in, we do need to know what his bib number is and what the colour is, because we have had instances where that has not been reported, and we've then wasted the precious time of those first responders searching for that person who we were concerned about when that assistance could have been provided to somebody else down the track. So please be aware of that one, and never leave anybody alone if they are injured. Don't leave your poor team member on the side of the trail and continue on. Please stay with them until help responds to you all. With the trail marking, we need you to make sure they are very handy to take home as a souvenir. They fit in your pocket or your backpack, but we ask you to please don't do that. If you would like one, you can purchase it afterwards. You can contact us and we can arrange for purchase. But if you take those trail markers, you actually will put the safety of other walkers behind you in jeopardy, because that is the marking of the trail. So please leave them there, and they also cost us a lot of money, and they are reused from event to event. So please don't just grab one and take it away. We can arrange if you would like to purchase. With the safety protocols, so I think Marika touched on it slightly. With the safety protocols at each of the checkpoints, we do need every member of your team to be sighted at the checkpoints, checking in and checking out. So that's no exception. John can't be in the toilet. We need everybody standing in front of our checkpoint crew members to be able to tick you off to say that you have checked in. You must check in when you arrive and separately check in when you check out. Alternatively, if you are a team that is just wanting to pass through at a checkpoint, you can check in and check out, but you must